Welcome back and thank you for watching my video. I thought this video I would tell you about me and why I am doing this. Uh, to be honest, uh, God told me. Yeah, it sounds strange, but He did. He said He would send His followers and I need to send the message. So every message He's told me to do. He's told me in dreams, and I didn't want to because I'm a little bit camera shy and I'm not sure what I'm doing, but I will do as I'm told. And another reason I didn't want to do it was my teeth. I'm sure you've already noticed, but that's a funny story I wanted to tell you. Of course, I'm sure people's already judging, which is fine. Judge all you want, but now you get to hear the real story. I used to have perfect teeth. I love my teeth. My eye teeth, my canines were actually a little bit longer, and it was like an animal, and I loved them. Every morning, every night, I brushed my teeth, and I took pride in them. Well, around my 20s, my wisdom teeth started coming in, and they crowded my other teeth, caused them to go out of line, and crushing several of them because I could not afford dental to get them fixed or pulled. And then I kind of gave up on brushing, and I found a dentist, and we was working to fix it all back up. And then he went bankrupt, so I was back to square one. And uh, I did have a few teeth removed from being crushed from the wisdom teeth compacting everything, but my front ones that are clearly noticeably, one's gone, one's really broke off. That's the funny story. When my daughter was about 3 or 4 years old, we were playing Monster, and I hid in the bathroom, and she'd come in there, roar, and then roar, open the door and try to scare me. And of course, I played like I was scared. And then one time I got up right next to the door, so when she opened the door, I scared her. She slammed the door into my mouth. It's a steel doorknob. Got me right in the mouth, busted my front teeth, chipped them all off, and they're pretty essentially dead, but I cannot afford to fix them. And I, when she did that, it busted my lip and blood went everywhere. She's screaming and crying because I'm gushing blood. And I calmed her down and I said, "You're not in trouble. It's okay. I'm fine. We're just not going to play anymore right now." And eventually, from not having dental, I couldn't afford to get them fixed. And hopefully, at this point, I just want to get them all pulled and get dentures. But I don't have the money, and I do not have dental insurance, and dental is so expensive. It broke my heart to actually have missing teeth. I had all my teeth, and I took pride in them. Now, especially with this one up here, it broke completely off not too long ago, and I had dental from having my son. I had an appointment to have it pulled or dealt with, probably pulled because it's off to the gum, and a tornado came through. It caused water damage in my dentist office, and before they opened up, my dental got closed or canceled. So I didn't get my teeth fixed. And I really wish I could have, because I don't have my smile no more. But that's not going to stop me from smiling, because life is grand. My life wasn't always grand. I'm doing this because my life has been really, really hard. Since I was a child, I was molested, raped, abused, physically, emotionally, always, up until I was in my 20s. And then I started working for myself and getting on my own, and now I have my daughter and I have my son, and that's my world. That's all I care about. Nobody's going to come between me and my children. I don't care. This is my house. I own it. It may be a piece of crap, but it's mine. Nobody can take it as long as I pay the taxes. There's always a catch. It's always about money. But I work, and I do got to pay my taxes for last year, but I'll do that probably this month. But I've not been Christian my whole life. Actually, growing up as a child, I wasn't raised to have a religion. I learned religion from my friends, and I went to vacation Bible school with my friends, and I started learning about religion then. And my grandmother was a very, very, very Christian lady. And so I read her Bible, which was, at that age, I didn't understand a lot because it's the old King James version from 1920, I think it was. And the words I used, we don't use anymore, so I wasn't sure what I was reading and what was meant. But I've read a little bit more since I've gotten older. I've looked into other religions. I've even looked into Wicca. And I kind of jumped around place to place, just trying to find out where I fit in. Well, every time I start to stray, God speaks to me. And He's like, nope, go back. You're doing it wrong again. And I've been on my deathbed literally 3 times. And that's a very scary moment, is when you're laying in the hospital and they said you may not walk out of here. The first time was when I was having my daughter. It's supposed to be the most beautiful time of your life. But something went wrong at labor. It was a textbook pregnancy all up until my water broke. I wanted to go completely natural the way God intended. I didn't want no medication, no painkillers, nothing. For 18 hours we tried and tried and tried. I was getting weaker. I started running a fever. They tried a local to see if it would get the labor moving because my water had already broke, so we're already on a time limit. And then they said, this ain't working. Let's try an epidural, see if that'll get it going. Fine, I agreed to that. And that didn't get nothing going. They came back in about 18 hours later, and they said something's wrong. The baby's heartbeat was accelerated. Mine was slowing. My blood pressure was dropping. My oxygen was dropping. I was essentially dying, and they didn't know why. So I signed off. They rushed me into emergency C-section. Had the surgery. Had a beautiful, healthy baby girl. Nothing was wrong with her at that point. And then the focus went to me. It turned out there was an infection in the amniotic fluid that had attacked me, and it almost killed me. It really did. I don't remember much of my first days of being a mom because I was running such a high fever I couldn't even stay conscious. I couldn't breastfeed her. I couldn't do nothing. After about a week in the hospital, I came through, got to be released, got to be a mom, which was wonderful. And then it was just maybe a month or 2 later, I had a pain in my arm that wouldn't quit. And it was red and swollen and hot. I let it go, and finally I was like, all right, it's not stopping. Go back to the hospital. I was like, I think it's pulled muscle, but let's check it out. They did an ultrasound. I had a DVT, a deep vein thrombosis, a blood clot in my arm. I got rushed to ICU because normally DVTs are in the legs, which are still severe, but it's more severe in the arm because of how close it is to your heart and lungs. If it was to pass, it would have killed me before they could have done anything about it because it's such a short distance. So they're prepping me, assuring me that they may not be able to save me once again. But I was on blood thinners for a good year, and I got over it. And then The third time I was on my deathbed, I was working for Walmart. It was around Christmas time. I was wanting to give my child the best Christmas in her world, in her life. So I picked up every shift available. I barely slept. I was drinking Mountain Dew like I was dying, like a camel. I was drinking Monster Energy drinks constantly. I was drinking 5-hour energies, taking hydroxycats, whatever would give me energy, I was taking just to keep going, to pick up extra shifts, to make more money, the great evil thing. And I had a pain in my back, and it got worse and worse to the point it was unbearable. I went to the hospital. They said it was nothing. Sent me home with painkillers. 3 days later, I woke up at 1 in the morning convulsing. I got taken to the hospital, completely dehydrated. And doctor came in. He said, "I don't know what it is." After he gave me he quoting, he said, "A dinosaur dose of morphine," because I was screaming and swallowing because it hurt so bad. He said, "I don't know what it is. Do you have any ideas?" And I'm like, "All right, you're some doctor to be asking me." But I said, "I don't know, appendix." Just shooting out something. So they scanned my stomach, and when they did, they saw a mass on my kidney, and I had a renal abscess, and it was causing kidney failure. So I don't remember the whole treatment process, but I remember I did get a tube put in my back to drain the abscess, and they they told my boyfriend at the time that she's not going to make it out. Last time I looked at the monitors, my heartbeat was 48. My blood pressure was 30/20, and my oxygen was 20. I looked at my boyfriend and I said, "I'm dead." And that's the last thing I remember until coming up out of it. And then I do remember God told me, "I have a plan for you and you cannot die yet." Okay. So I got to take better care of myself and do what I was told. I don't know what my plan is, and I don't know what my role is, but everybody has a plan for God. God has a plan for everybody. We may not know what it is yet, but there is a plan. It may be minor, it may be major. I don't even know mine. I'm just doing what I'm told. But I'm telling you my story. And I've struggled my whole life. I've worked my whole life. And I've made it nowhere, really. I guess I do got a house, but I am ambitious and I want to do better. And I don't want to see good people try so hard to make it nowhere. It's not fair to work a 40-hour job 5 days a week or more, busting your rear and putting yourself in that much strain and that much stress to not make it, to barely pay your bills, to barely have food on the table. This isn't fair. So I've started Great Life Ministries to help people like that. There needs to be a way to help people just to get a step ladder to get up there. Because some people, if they just get up there, they can hold it. But it's not fair to work and live in squalor. It's really not. And when we have kids, our ambition grows more because we want the best for our kids. It's parental instincts. They're our children. Of course we want better for them. We love our children. They're our next generation. They're our legacy. We try to raise them right, try to raise them to be good human beings, decent adults, and they're going to get the world we give them. I was raised in a not child-friendly environment at all, and so I didn't get a step ladder up. Everything I've got, I've worked hard for, and it's slow going, and I've backslid a lot. I've lived in my truck and I've lived on the streets, and I'm trying not to do that again. But it's really hard, and most of you out there know how hard it is. But let me tell you, do not give up. Don't give up. If you give up, the enemy won. That's what happens. We are being tested. How strong are you? After everything I've been through, I am 31 now. I am not giving up now. Especially now that I have my two beautiful children. They ain't gonna see mama give up. They're gonna see mama fight, and they're gonna fight as hard as mama did to get better. And I'm hoping if I start them off a little better than I started off, then their kids will start a little better than they did, and then so step ladder up those generations. Of course, right now I wish that I lived in a more stable, cleaner home, but I don't. I've been planning on how to do that. I've been thinking about it, but I'll get there. I will. But my most important thing is to be a good mom to my children. I love my children. I will die for them and I will kill for them. And you parents know what I'm talking about. We love our children. Don't play with our children. But I've got another video coming up about what happens to some children that shouldn't, that happened to me. And I'm hoping it'll help some of you understand the abuse that children go through and how it messes their heads up so bad. And I figured I've been through it, and maybe if I tell my story, you can understand. But check out my next video. Like, subscribe this one. I've got many more messages for you, even more scriptures from God. Thank you, and God bless.